I'm going to be so mad if I did this wrong. Let me see. Yeah, I think I got it. Oh my gosh. Dang, my hair is crazy. Gosh, this is turning into like a forever winter because it's like I'm so hypo this summer that it's like it's winter and my hair is like giving winter vibes. Anyways, you guys, I forgot to turn these lights on. I look like trash. Well, it doesn't really change anything. I thought I would go ahead and go live and just navel gaze, bloviate, whatever, be gay, have my hair be a mess. But no, I'm going to go ahead and clean because I have some time because I'm trying to work, but it's early. I'm getting out of the Midnights era. Hello, bot. So my hormones are definitely improving, but they're not, it's like, I guess I can't really complain. They're improving because I'm getting up earlier. So that's a really good sign. But it's like, because I get up earlier, then my weigh-ins don't show, so then now it's like I've taken a step back as far as weight because I'm up earlier. For any of my weigh-in girly pops, you'll understand the earlier you get up, the worse your weigh-in is typically. So everything is just kind of funkified. But my waist is the same. My waist is like a 37 and a half. That's if I measure it like right here. Which is horrifying. Which I'm not going to do it on camera because I do it ratchet style where I do it very tight. So, but I kind of do it way up here for this part of the measuring. But I mean, gosh, I've already eaten and everything now. Now it's like a 41. Ah! But anyways, before eating and all that, 37 and a half. It was a little higher. It was maybe like 37.8 or something today, but my lowest measured was 37 and a half. Which for the record, before it started, or like, I don't even know what it was, but it was probably like, I don't even know. It was probably like in the 50s or something, at least. At least. Let me make this bigger so I can see bots chats. I'm glad to see you, bot. I haven't seen you in a minute on my streams. You've been evading me. You've been avoiding me. Goodness. Look how nasty this pillow is. Hello, Kayla. Hey, girl, hey. Caleb doesn't usually talk like that. What's going on, Caleb? Oh my god. I have 2 gua sha tools. So this one is the better one. And this one is like kind of lame, but I'll use this on my calf and like legs and stuff. This angle is so awful for the record. Like I do not have a fat friendly angle, period. But problematic body check. We have to say British style. Problematic. So when did you become more gay? What happened? Problematic body check. I know this is my 4th of July moment. It's so funny. I don't know if it's my liver or my stomach, but one of the sides is fatter than the other side. So I usually take a picture with this side because this side is smaller. But I don't remember if this is the side with the liver, but they've switched. So that one side used to be bigger than the other side. Stomach is on the left. Okay. Yeah, I think the liver used to be bigger and now it's not. So that's good though. That means fatty liver is going down. See, and I pull the shirt. These shirts are short, which luckily the horrible angle doesn't show that, but the shirts are a little short. They're a little short because I don't know. I think they just go by averages, I guess. Should I just say that they're fat phobic or whatever? But I'm just buying Walmart chic. And then this shirt, as you guys know, I use it for pajamas. Oh my gosh, Caleb, stop. I'm just kidding. Don't say that, Caleb. That's gross. No, I'm just kidding. Gosh, I feel like you can't have any humor online. People get all extra. Okay, so this shirt is like huge. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I will say I do not really wear this to sleep in, but I sometimes do, but not in the summer. I have been sleeping shirtless, which I know is so scandalous. I know, but look at how big it is, but like I could probably put it over my other shirt. Hold on. I have to step aside, otherwise I'll flash the belly. It's so big now. It's getting like ridiculous. I mean, so this is like really, 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 really big at this point. Just make sure. I don't know why I'm so paranoid. I literally act like I keep all my papers like everywhere. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like my social security number is broadcast all over the room. It's really gay. So you see, this is a very big shirt now. So I used to wear this out. I don't think I would ever wear this out. And even as like a pajama shirt, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. So I don't think I would really wear this anymore. But yeah, let me get back over here. So basically yeah, I wish the scale could show like if I'm losing or not, but it doesn't because I've gone up basically. But like I said, I think it's because I get up earlier. I have 2XL tall shirts. Oh my gosh, but you're going for the Gen Z style, but the oversized. I almost got one where the first time I'm connecting with people. Oh, that's nice. That's good. I don't know. This is a weird time in general for I think for most people. But I think it's just I don't like personally, I don't like that Pluto's gonna go back into Capricorn. One second. Speaking of which, one of my friends wanted to call, but I can't right now. Okay, is that bad weight, Caleb? Or is it like fat acceptance weight? Or is it muscle weight? But yeah, my weight loss is it's pretty much stalled. But I'm still, I don't know, you guys. I haven't been super strict anyways because I've been hungry some days. But I'm trying to be okay. Like I stay mostly on track, but yesterday I went to the gym the night before. I went and did legs. I do legs and abs one day, and then I do arms the other day. So I had to go earlier because the gym was going to be closed for the 4th of July. And oh my God. I decided to just go up in weight because I was like, I love how you guys can't even see me. This is gay. Okay. Are you serious, Caleb? Oh my God. It's probably because you're eating much crap. Anyways, so I was, oh my gosh, I have ADHD right now. I can't even think of what I was saying. Oh my God, Bob. Ooh, you guys are making me feel like I'm going to have diarrhea. I need to chill for a second. You guys are upsetting me. I'm like, oh. Okay, so anyways, what I was trying to say is I have hella bloat. I don't know. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my God, you guys. My freaking hypoventilation was terrible last night. It was so bad. But what I was trying to say is I think it still has to kind of do with the solstice. Or like I said, it's so much burning PUFA process that it's just overwhelming. But it's getting better. Like my hormones and my thyroid and liver and all the physical side is taking over because I'm getting up earlier. So that's a sign that I'm improving. Because for a minute I was getting up at like 5. I was going to sleep at 5 a.m. Like I couldn't sleep. And then now it's like returning and it's shifting back up. You need to gain 100 pounds. Oh my gosh. The oppressed hierarchy. Oh my gosh. You guys, it's so bad to be that big. It's horrible. I mean, even being as big as I am now, it's still pretty rough at this time. Okay, that's good, Kayla. I was just like, my literal, like, I went to the gym. I went up in weights for my legs and abs. And oh my gosh, I was so serotonin-y. Like, and it's hard to explain because I've been telling people that my serotonin thing is getting better, and it is because like I'm getting up earlier in the day and like it's not affecting me as much mentally. But yesterday, oh my gosh, after going up in weight at the gym, I had like serotonin nightmares. And I literally, one of the dreams, I was screaming so loud in my dream that like in the dream I could feel my throat burn and it woke me up. And I was like, okay, this is serotonin dreams, like we're back. And so that was really something. And then the whole day I was really, really, really weird. And I was just like, because that serotonin feeling, it was totally coming in. It was like, woo, like we're back. And then, but I wasn't like super, super depressed. I was a little bit depressed though. Like I woke up in the morning and I felt so hopeless in general, which is like a really great way to wake up. I was so like, nothing matters, blah, blah, blah. Like I was kind of doing that and I was like, oh gosh, here we go. So what I did is last night I watched 2 Saw movies. And I don't know if you guys have seen Saw, but it was wild. I watched, they were kind of bad, honestly. Like I watched the last 2. So I watched Saw 6. No, I don't remember. Maybe it was Saw 6. And then it was Saw the final chapter, which was 3D, which it was really cheesy to see it without 3D. It was kind of lame. But I just needed to see like the gore and disgustingness and like horror. And then while I was watching it, I started getting a migraine like during it. But yeah, and then I had a horrible hypoventilation. So I had a rough day yesterday, hormone wise. It was pretty bad. But I mean, I survived. And then, like I said, I got up earlier today. So I'm better. But yeah, those horror movies help because like I was supposed to watch a horror movie the night before, but I didn't. And then I had those nightmares. And I was like, ugh. So I think it helps to watch something that's like really disturbing like that. Because the 2 Saw movies, like the later ones, like I don't know, like they just turned weird, kind of like, well, I think you guys know how that is. Like in horror movies, when you get to like number 5, 6, 7, it's like they kind of just, they get kind of cheesy, But it was so gory and so disgusting. Like this one scene in Saw 6, somebody gets hydrochloric acid injected into their back and they like die. And it's so gross. It was so nasty. I was like, wow, this is so disgusting. But it helped me. So I might even watch more tonight because I have to do arms. So I'm going to be all weird again. But yeah, that's why I don't like it when people tell Like when people say like, oh, the gym, it really helps. It'll totally help your mental health and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't think that that's true if you're like really fat. Like, because for me personally, it has never made me feel better. I've always felt worse after going to the gym. They help because it's like a distraction bot. So it's like when you're in that serotonin state, you're just very obsessive. It's like it makes you really, really hyper focused and really, really obsessed. So when you're doing that, it's like you can obsess about your body, you can obsess about your romantic life, you can obsess about your finances, or you can just watch a horror movie and it's like disgusting. And then you're like obsessed with the movie. Yeah, it's basically like that. Like I just hyper focus on the movie. I think horror movies probably give dopamine too. There's probably like a dopamine effect because it's just so intense. And like some of the scenes in Saw it was so scarring. Like, oh, gosh, like I don't even know. Like there's this one scene where there's like 6 people and they're all like competing to not die. And like it's like they're being killed by shotgun. Like it was kind of tough. Like I was like, ugh, like I was watching it and I was like, ugh, you know, it's like, whoa, like, cause it wasn't even just them getting shot and stuff. It was like the whole dynamic of like the whole scenes and everything. It was just so disturbing. And I was like, oh, but it's like, I don't think about it doesn't, I don't freak out about anything else. And I feel like it lets the hormones process or like it helps the hormones come out or something. Cause like I said, I started getting a migraine because you have to think like I watched 2 full movies. So I watched the final chapter in Saw 6. That was like 4 hours of Saw. Like it was like boom, you know. Caleb says everybody wants my number at the restaurant. Oh my gosh, not Caleb flexing in the chat. I don't think anybody wants my number. I love that. Oh my gosh. The emojis, you guys and your emojis. So anyways, that movie helped, or those movies helped. I think I want to watch more though. Like I'm kind of addicted now. So I need to watch more. I want to watch Saw 4, I think. Because that one was really weird because it has like Amanda in it. And I want to watch Saw 2. I just want to watch them. I think I'm getting obsessed, honestly, because it's literally like one of the only things that makes me feel better. That's so weird. I don't even understand. Like, I just don't. Like, the serotonin mindset is so weird, you guys. It's such a freaking crazy thing. Oh, okay, Caleb. Are you going from a Swiftie to Saw? I mean, I'm still a Swiftie. Like, I listen to Tortured Lesbian like every day. Yesterday I was listening to LOML, which is like Love of My Life, Loss of My Life, because I felt sad. Like I was feeling sad. So I'm like, this solstice is still getting to me a little bit. But it was because of the gym thing. It's because I went to the gym and it really fucked me up. But I'm kind of just at a point right now where I'm just like, fuck me up. Like I'm gonna do it again. Not literally, Bot. Gosh, way to ruin it, Bot. Jeez. It's her newest album. By the way, my mom's she's gotten into a hobby. She's been doing the Bejeweled or the dazzling kind of pictures. So she made me this one. It's a kitty, but it's dazzling. So I'm gonna put it up in my room. I wanted to show you guys. It's a black cat. Which Taylor has a song called The Black Dog. So in my mind, I'm just going to change it to The Black Cat. Which the Black Dog is a bar. It's a bar in England. It's a bar in London, I think. And that's where that's where Joe went, and Taylor was upset because she could see his location because he hadn't turned it off. But anyways, I have my own Britishy place in Alabama that I'm going to go to for my birthday, and I'm going to call it the Black Dog now. So, the Black Dog. I'm going for my birthday. It's very British. I'm going to go to a Britishy place on my birthday this year. It's one of my favorite places. They don't cook anything in seed oils. It's all beef fat, which is amazing. And it's very good. And I'm going to get steak and chips, or as we would call them, fries. And all that stuff. So anyways, point is, I call it the Black Cat. But I named her Clara. Her name is Clara Bow because she's dazzling. But yeah, so I got to put this up. It gives witchy. So I don't know where to put it up. Should I put it up behind me? Should I just try to put as many pictures behind me so you guys can see them? Or should I put it on this side so that I can see it? What do you think? Let me see what it would look like. I need to probably get a frame or something, but I don't know. Kind of interesting. Now hold bit shitty at the Black Dog. The wall the closet is on? Okay. So you mean this wall? Maybe. I don't know, because I don't really... I mean, you guys see it. Okay. You guys do see it, though. So that's good. But there's like another painting that's similar to this. Ooh. And I want to put it on the other side. It's kind of like Evermore, because that one's like Folklore and the other one's Evermore. So I might put both of them next to each other just for like the album moment. Because again, I don't know why, but because I film so much in here, it's like I want to dress it up on this side because I film in here. But anyways, I could put the kitty. Oh my God, Caleb. I'm trying not to get political, honestly, because I'm really horrified by it. But I will just say our Democratic Party is basically self-destructing as much as the Conservative Party in England is self-destructing. Democratic Party is just like, it's like destroying itself. It's crazy to see it. But I'm just trying to make it under horrific leadership, basically. That's kind of how I feel. It makes me nervous because seeing Joe Biden like that, it's something that haunts your dreams at night, basically. As an American, it does. It's kind of scary because I don't feel safe. Yeah, I don't feel safe with him in office. Like, I think he should not be. I think they should, it's like a matter of national security at this point. So it's kind of just ridiculous. So I try not to think about it as much, which I don't think that helps necessarily because that does make my anxiety worse. But I don't know. It's like it's out of my control. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing I can do. I can definitely do something in November, and I definitely will be. Definitely will be in November. Oh my God. But in terms of like right now, what can you do? So I have to just, I have to just live. It's like you have to just continue on. But it's kind of like, it's scary. I would say it's scary. So that was kind of my reaction to it. Like, of course, I don't know. At the end of the day, like I'm not like a hyper partisan person, and I care more about the country than a party. And it's just like Democrats care about their party more than the country. That's what I will say, just flat out. I mean, you cannot look at that debate and not know that now. We have new ministers. A lot from the party I voted for, so I'm very happy with that. Okay. That's great. How is it going? It does seem like a year where a lot of the incumbent leadership is changing, or people are very dissatisfied because that's been happening in Europe, where people who have been in power, they're out of power. So I think it's probably going to happen here too, to be honest, because it's just one of those changing years. It's like people are just done, people are done with the way things are. So it makes sense. I mean, Pluto's changing signs. It's like a huge shift in general. But I think that, you know, that's what's happening. So, like in England, the right was in power. Now the left is in power. In other parts of Europe, the left was in power. Now the right is in power. It's like people are just changing. It's kind of like a collective dissatisfaction with how things are being run. And I feel that too. I think it's probably universal. I think it's probably all over the world because it's just one of those years. It's like very much, it's a changing year politically, I think. So I'm just, like I said, I try not to think about it all the time because I can't do anything about it. But I'm just going to live my life the best I can. I don't want to do like a full campaign and all that. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. As I've said, I quit politics, but I can still see trends and I can still see what's happening, and I still pay attention, but I haven't been looking at American news as much because it's disturbing. The old government went from 56 to 40. Now they formed a government of national unity. The centrist party I voted for is very pro-business and against racial policies. So that's good. I mean, I hope that things definitely continue to veer towards the center. I know that in England, the Labour Party had to move to the center to win. So that's all. I mean, I'm not like a huge expert on English politics, but I do pay attention to things like when they were doing their debate to like get the new PM, like I watched it and it was a disaster. I was just, I don't know, like to me, it just seemed like the party doesn't listen to their voters whatsoever. So I just am like, well, I don't know, like how is a party gonna win? If they don't even listen to their own party, they don't listen to the people who vote for them. It's like, so I'm not surprised, but nobody really is surprised by the British election. I even understand it. I understand it as much as I can as an outsider. So I don't really judge it, but there's just a lot going on. Man, it's crazy these days. It's great to know that if nothing progresses, it won't get worse here. That's good. That's good. I think a lot of places are probably mostly staying the same, which is ironic, but because that's kind of my prediction with England is I think it'll probably be kind of the same. But I still think it's important to send a message to such a poorly performing party, which the Tories there, it's horrible. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing you can say to even pretend that it's okay. So I don't even think I would vote for them. If I was there, I wouldn't. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I know like in Australia, they had a very similar election, I think back in 22, I think, where they got rid of ScoMo. And I knew a lot more about Australian politics because I paid attention to it more. And so I could kind of see what was going to happen. And I didn't think ScoMo was going to win. I didn't think that the Liberal Party there would win because they were horrible during COVID. It was horrible. And so it was just like, I'm not surprised, but the unfortunate thing, again, I'm still a right winger. Like Australia went into recession after voting in left wing leadership. It's like, and that's probably going to happen in England. That's my kind of grim prediction is it'll probably just lead to a recession in England. But that's what happens because we have a really shitty economy here too. It's like, I don't know, it just happens every time. Every time left-wing leadership gets voted in, the economy goes to shit. Like basically, that's what I've observed over my lifetime. And it definitely happened here. And it's like, holy shit, it's so bad now. But I just don't even know. So whew, we're like hanging by a thread. It was so funny. I saw like all these reactions on Twitter where they were like, it was like, foreigners, what do you think after you see this debate between Joe and Trump? And they were all like, oh my God. And like somebody was like, are Americans okay? And somebody responded and they're like, no, we're not. And I'm like, yeah, we're not. So yeah, you can see why it's so bad because we don't really have a leader at all. So I don't know. I don't think he should be in office. Like I said, I know a lot of people on my side of the aisle would probably want Biden to stay in office because it would help us electorally, but I don't because it's dangerous to have him in office. So that's kind of where I stand. But again, I'm country before party. And I just think he's so awful that he should be out. He probably should have been out years ago, honestly. Okay, anyways, it's interesting to note that the turnout for UK was almost 10% lower, a lot of distrust. That's interesting. Well, like I said, I feel like a lot of Tory voters probably just didn't vote because they don't know where they're at, and that kind of stuff, or they maybe switch to Labor, it's that kind of thing. Or I just think there's just a lot of that. And Labor rightly went towards the center. They kind of got rid of the SJW stuff because it's very unpopular. So they kind of dropped that. But the issue, it's probably going to be similar to the other places. Like America, we voted in a left-wing government with Joe Biden. And it's like progressives and like centrists in the party start fighting. It's happening in Australia now. It's probably going to happen in England, because one of the biggest things I've seen is like the Labour Party is taking a very pro-Israel stance. And a lot of left-wing voters don't like that at all. So it's like not much is going to change, in my opinion. That's how I see it. It's very similar to the Australian election that happened last year, in my opinion. Maybe I could just be projecting that, but that's how I see it. And yeah. So anyways, interesting to note that the turnout in the UK, I already read that. As you said, the Tories weren't great to begin with, so it's not surprising they lost. It isn't. I don't think it's a shock at all that they lost. Like I said, I don't think I could have voted for them because they were really horrible. So I don't know. It was just a disaster. So I don't know. There's nothing to say, There's no defense to make. It's just a hot mess, basically. It's imploding. That's kind of how the Democrats are here. They're just imploding. It's like a hot mess. It's just like trying to use legal warfare to win an election. They, now they want to get rid of Joe Biden, but then half of them want us to keep him. And then it's like they're fighting about the Palestine thing. Like it's a lot going on. There's like riots breaking out over Palestine, and the Democrats are just trying to pretend it's all hunky-dory and like it's all great. And I'm just like, you're going to lose, basically. That's my prediction. But it's ridiculous. But I think a lot of people, they don't want to accept reality, I guess. But it's like, anyways. Yeah, he's not okay, Caleb. Like, he isn't okay. He should not be president right now. Because I'm honestly, like, there's a part of me that fears we're going to be attacked or something because of how bad he is. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want anything bad to happen. I really don't. But I just don't have a good feeling. I'm hoping it's more just like economic because some of the astrology, because you guys remember, like I look at astrology a lot, and some of the astrology is just not looking great in August. And I think it could have to do with a lot of cancellations. I think that's when Taylor Swift will be canceled. I think it could have to do with the economy, an economic downturn, especially like in the US and probably England, like probably a lot of places. It's just, it's rough. It's a very rough time. As you said, it's literally a national security threat. Why can't more people see past the politics and understand that they can't because the election? It's because of the election. But like I said, people are they're more for their party than the country. Basically, that's why. And it happened in an election year, which again, we've been knowing that Joe is this way, but they've been lying about it forever, and it was shown, and they're exposed. And the only reason why it's in the election year is because they waited so long to do it, or they kept gaslighting. So it's like, that's why. So now that it is an election year, they don't want to change him, because if they change him, they're probably going to lose, but they're probably going to lose regardless at this point. I don't think there's anything they can do to turn it around, because we've already had horrible economic issues the entirety of this administration. They've pissed off the far left a lot with the Palestine thing. The party is in chaos right now. Joe Biden, need I say more? He's a deeply unpopular president, and he's even less popular now. And everybody else has baggage, because people keep talking about Newsom, and I'm just like, Newsom is from California. Like, California is seen as like the red-haired stepchild of the United States. Like, if you're over 30 years old, typically over 30 crowd, which is the most voting crowd, they think of California as a horror story. Like, the only people that love California so much are people who still live there. A lot of people have fled California. So to have Newsom, which he even had a recall and all that. You guys remember that? He's not popular. It's ridiculous. And then they were trying to say Gretchen Whitmer, and it's like, she has hella baggage too. These people have so much baggage. So I don't know, you guys. And then you got somebody, they got their voters all ginned up for Biden to vote for him, and then now they want to change him. It's like, it's not a good electoral strategy. But for the fate of our country, it would probably be best if he was out, if that makes sense. But I don't know if they're going to do it, because it's not good for the election. But I don't even know if Biden's going to make it, as it seems like he's getting worse. So I don't even know. We might not even need to think about it, I guess, but this is one of those years where anything can happen. I hope that he's okay. Like, I'm not one of those where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I hate him so much, Like, I used to hate him. I don't anymore. I think for me now, it's just like, we just need somebody else in office, So that's kind of my stance. Is like, he needs to get out of office, because he's not okay. I mean, he never has been okay. Let's keep it real, but he's really not okay, And so that was kind of shocking, because I watched it live when it was happening, and some of it was jaw dropping. And yeah, it's really bad. Biden's facial expressions were so funny. I don't know. It was disturbing to me, but I get it. There's nothing wrong with finding humor in it, I guess, but it freaks me out. But of course, Caleb had to bring up politics. But I think it's better for me to just talk about things a little bit because it's like I need to not be, what's the word, suppressing, that those thoughts I have because it's like, ugh, you know, but yeah, that's what's going on. So yeah, I don't know what will happen in August. I just don't really see great things. I see it as a challenging time. I think it's probably economic related. Like the housing market, I think is pretty much collapsing. I haven't really looked at the stuff that much financially, but I think the housing market is starting to die, basically. Like they said, like they had the lowest sales. This was like the worst spring ever, or one of the worst springs they've ever had. So there's a lot of delusion going on within like America and financially and these kind of things. And I just don't know it's like when the ball drops. And I worry about my own life too, because I worry about if I'm being delusional about anything. Like I would just tell you guys too, like astrologically anyways, like pay attention to if you're delusional because you might be, so I worry about my different things going on in my life. Like I'm just like, ugh, like is making it on YouTube a delusion, or is this romantic situation a delusion, or is this um is the way I'm losing weight a delusion? It's like you start thinking about all the, like I start to doubt a lot. So I've had a lot of low confidence during this time because I've been through times where I've been delusional before. And I do talk to Eric and he's like, yeah, he's like, but your mind is a lot healthier now than like back in 2016. Cause I was really delusional in 2016, especially romantically. Like I was thinking I was going to get back with my first love. Like I was very, very hardcore about that. And that was so not going to happen. And it took a long time for me to accept it. And it was very like disturbing to think about. So I've had times like that. So I think for me, it's like I'm a little nervous because I worry that I'm being financially delusional, or it's like with the car issue, for example, it's like I don't know if that's going to get better, and it's like I feel like if I think it's going to get better, I feel like I'm being delusional. Does that make sense? So I would just be careful, you guys, about that kind of thing. Just like have like a grain of salt about certain things because you could be wrong. I think it's good to have some humility. The only reason I talk about like the election in America is because it's been a long time coming. Like the polls have been going that way for a long time. So it's similar to the British election where the polls were going that way for a long time. It's like when something's been going on for such a long time, then it's easier to tell that it's real. But I just don't know about like, my personal stuff. Like a lot has been going on this year in my life personally. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm being delusional about a lot of stuff. And that's kind of scary. This is a tough year because like we can't just focus on politics this year. Like this isn't 2020. This is 2024. Like you have to focus on your life too. So it's really tricky because like politics is not the most important thing to me at this point. It just isn't. I think about it, of course, I do. I mean, it's the election year, right? Of course, I'm thinking about it, but it's like, it's not the most important thing in the world to me. And like I said, I don't sit here, I don't like to get into all the divisiveness of it either. Like, I will talk about the party or I will talk about politicians or something, but I don't hate voters. I don't hate Joe Biden voters. I just don't know. Like, I'm never going to vote for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even something I could even entertain, or even pretend to entertain for a second. But it's like, you know, people vote how they vote because they feel like that's the best decision, you know? Um, yeah. So anyways, that's my thing. Because here in America, there will be a lot of people who are like, I can't vote for Trump because I'm terrified of what Trump will do, or I'm terrified of Trump. Like, I'm terrified of Biden. So I feel exactly the same, but about a different person, because I'm terrified having him in office. It's really scary. And they'll say, having Trump is so embarrassing in office. Having Biden is embarrassing. I think we're like a huge joke on the national stage, having Biden. It's like, so I don't know. A lot of the stuff that they say, I feel exactly the same way. So it's like, I don't know. Does that make me a bad person? Does that make them a bad person? I don't know. You know? It, that's why I just don't like the divisiveness either. Like, or like when people try to make politics so personal, or like so this or so that, especially because it's so temporary. It's like this election will pass and it'll be a totally new set of issues in 2028. So it's like, I think it's stupid when people base personal relationships on politics, because politics are always changing, and it's just really dumb. Because like, I remember when I was younger, like I used to argue with atheists like all the time. Like, it was like my biggest rivals. And then towards the 2010s, it's like I was aligning with a lot of atheists because I was arguing and fighting against SJWs. You see what I'm saying? Or like fighting against the left or SJWism, especially like radical left. But now it's like my issues have changed, and it's like I focus more on the fitness side and the health side. And so it's like there's a lot of right wingers that are not good with that. And there's a lot of left wingers that are. So it's like I'm not as political now, you know? So it's like things change. I would never base, I don't think anybody should base relationships on politics. I think that that's stupid, just because politics change. They're always different. What's in fashion one election cycle is out of fashion the next. So I just would never base anything real on that, because you don't know. It's like, even for people who cannot stand Trump or whatever, it's like Trump, this is probably his last time that he's going to run. If he wins, this is the last time he can be president, and it'll be over, you know? So it's like, would you make a life decision based on 4 years? You'd make a lifelong decision to cut somebody out of your life based on 4 years. It's just stupid. You know, I just don't believe in that personally. Caleb says, we don't hate, but we do judge. And I'm judging you hard if you vote for Joe. He's not even alive. Well, and that's fine. I mean, Caleb's foreign, so full disclosure, but people can judge. I try to like not judge other countries as much, especially if I know the situation. So like, I didn't judge the Australian election. I don't judge the British election. I don't judge the other elections in Europe. Like, I don't really like, you know, I think I've probably paid most attention to Australia, England, and Canada. The Canadian election I did judge a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but because Trudeau is horrible, basically. I just don't get it. But that was a mess. I think that was in 2021 when that one happened, but I paid attention to that election too. So like, I pay attention to elections. I've kind of learned, like, certain elections, not all of them obviously, but like, sorry Caleb, I didn't pay as much attention to the South African one. But I don't know. It's just weird. This time is crazy, you guys. But yeah, I don't typically judge other countries as much, because I don't really believe in that either. Because there's a lot of people like I don't mean to bring it up, but I won't bring it up. But somebody I used to know was really, really judging me, who I voted for in 2020. And it's like, you don't even live here. You don't understand. Like, you're not in it. And it's like the same thing. It's like, I didn't want Joe Biden to win because I didn't want us to end up in the situation we're currently in, which is exactly what I warned against. Everything I said would happen if he won came true. I said we'd be in massive wars. I'd say the economy would go to hell, and it would just be, open border, all that. And it's basically everything came true, what I said. And it's like, I didn't want it to be true, but it happened, you know? It's like, I don't want these things to happen. He was just a horrible candidate. But I'm not saying, I don't know if I could ever vote Democrat, but just because there's so much that they've done, and I don't think I'll ever forgive it as a party. I just don't. But there are definitely some Democrats where I wouldn't be as scared, right? Or things wouldn't be as bad, because I have to say it was not this bad under Obama. It wasn't. It was bad under Obama though, but it was not this bad. This is like to a whole other level, because it's so bad that you can't even, like, I try not to watch the news, or I try not to look at politics, because it's like I have to focus to survive. It's like every single month I'm happy if I made my rent. It's like a huge, like, victory that I made my rent. It's been that way for the whole 3 years. The whole time he's been in office, it's been a struggle, and it's just gotten harder and harder and harder. And I work harder and harder and harder, and I am in the same position. It's like I'm always just barely making it. I work drastically more. Now I have 2 jobs and all that stuff. And it's like I still am like barely making it, always. And so it's like, that's been my experience of this economy. And that's been what it's been the whole time he's been in office. So it's like, I just, and then the COVID thing, it was just horrible. Like, yeah, I can understand not liking either one too. Like, for me, if it would have been Nikki Haley, I would not vote for her. You know what I'm saying? So it depends, because I'm not necessarily like, I'm going to vote for anybody if they're a Republican, but I wouldn't have voted for her if she would have been the candidate. I wouldn't have, because she would have been the same. It would have been just like having Biden from a policy perspective. And so it's like, there's certain things, like, I understand not liking either. And I don't know what to do in that situation. Like, I probably, if I would have been in somewhere like Australia or England, even Canada, like, I don't think I would have liked either one either. So what do you do when you don't? And I think that that's a tricky question. Do you vote third party? Do you vote a different thing? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's up to you, I guess, to make your decision. But I don't know. Because that's kind of my thing too, is like, what do you do? Like, back in 2012, I voted for Mitt Romney, and I kind of regret that vote. He didn't win, but it's like, I don't think I would vote for him today. Does that make sense? Like, I wouldn't have voted for either one of them, for Obama or Romney. So I don't know. I think it just depends, because I don't know. I don't know what you would do, or like what I would do in the future, but I'm definitely less, I think I was more partisan back then, whereas now I'm not. So it's like, if the candidate is complete shit, or if I think things are just going to get worse if they're in office, then I won't vote for them, So I think that that's tricky. And I understand people who are swing voters. Like I said, for me personally, I don't think I'm a swing voter. I've tried to say that to Democrats, because sometimes Democrats, they try really hard they want me to vote for Democrat. And it's like, I'm never going to. Like, they had one shot in 2016 where I considered it. But after 2020, it's dead forever. Like, I will never vote for a Democrat after that. after just everything that happened that year, everything they've done since, it's ruined forever. Like, I will never vote Democrat my entire life. So I think it's like you have to like they kind of burn bridges, you know. I think the Democrats in the United States, they've burned bridges with a lot of people. And I know that I'm not the only one, you know. So for me, they're ruined for life. I will never vote for them. In terms of Republican Party, it depends. They have to earn my vote. I'm not going to just vote for anybody. And, you know, I'm going to look person by person, like be very careful because I voted for Cornyn in Texas and I fucking hate him. And I really hate that I voted for him. But I was just like in such a desperate situation in 2020. I was like, I have to vote down ballot. You know, I was in that kind of situation because of everything that was happening. And I regret voting for him in Texas because he's a horrible senator and I fucking hate him. So I'm not going to vote for somebody I hate ever again. So I have to be careful. I didn't hate our senator in Alabama. I mean, she's kind of just whatever, but it was fine. Our governor is just whatever. Like, I'm not like dazzled or anything, but I'm not like disgusted either. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like whatever, like good enough, basically. But yeah. So, anyways, I get it though. I totally get not liking either. I think it's such a valid position. And that's the breaks, you know. I think I don't know, like I voted in primaries. Like I've started getting more involved because I try to have my voice heard even within the party because it's just, you know, you have to vote for that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you're not going to, the party won't necessarily represent you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that probably because I know a lot of people and talk about it in the US, but it really is a two-party system. So you have to kind of advocate for change within a party because I'm not like big on libertarians and stuff because it's never going to go anywhere. I don't think personally. Now, if somebody wants to be a libertarian, I don't judge them for being a libertarian, but it's just like you have to understand that you're probably not going to win. So all you can really do is try to put pressure on the other parties, the other two major parties. And I think that's what like the Green Party does or whatever. Like they try to put pressure on the Democratic Party. So that's kind of how our minor parties function in the United States is they try to pressure the mainline parties because they could lose votes either way, you know. But yeah, it's just tricky. I didn't find the debate funny at all. I thought it was a sign of massive crisis. Yeah. Well, that's the big narrative too, is like America's gonna die, or like it's the end of America, it's the end of America. I don't think so. Personally, I don't. I think it is a very low point. I think it's a really difficult time. I don't think it's the end of America, but I do think America has to do like a complete 180 at this point. Like it's just so bad that it's like we have to go in a completely different direction, essentially. That's my stance on it. Like if we continue down this path, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. But I think it's getting so bad that voters are waking up. You know, that's my opinion personally. Not everybody is, you know. I think there's a lot of hyper partisan people in the United States, but all you try to do is you try to talk to independents, you know. You try to talk to people who are in that category, if that makes sense. So it's interesting. Like, I don't push. I'm not one to be like, okay, no problem. No problem. But I'm not one to try to force somebody to convert or try to push my views on somebody because I don't think that it's effective anyways. And I don't think I'm like a great selling point as far as like candidates and all that. Like, I don't know. I remember I did this one kind of quote unquote debate with Hunter Avalon in 2022 because I was in like my political activist era. And I was just trying to tell him why I wouldn't vote Democrat. And he was like trying to convert me. And that was kind of cringe because it's like, I'm not going to change my mind, and I think that people have to understand, like, some people won't change their minds. So I understand that about some Democrats, and I respect it in the sense of like, that's your worldview and whatever. And it's probably not going to change. So, like, I wouldn't like fight somebody. Does that make sense? Because it's kind of just like their view, you know? Um, I don't know. Politics is such a weird thing because I think, in my opinion, it's more prone to change. No, I didn't, Caleb. I can't watch it because I was so hungry when I did that debate. Like, I was dying. I had literally been working like all day and I hadn't eaten. And he changed the schedule like 5 times. He was horrible to work with. I'm just going to be honest. He was horrible, but he kept changing the day. He kept changing the time. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it now because I wanted to just get it over with. So basically, I'm not in the mood, pedestrian altar, so I don't think I'm going to react to you that much. So don't get too excited. Don't get your panties all moist because I'm over it, over your dumbass. But yeah, so that was kind of that was my take. Like, because he was just so like, oh my gosh, like, you're a gay conservative. Like, he was just so, which it was so extra because he had been a conservative for so much of his life. So it was so disingenuous for him to act that way. But he was just like, how and why and da da da. It's like, I could tell you how and why, um, but I think for me personally, I'm more of like a right leaning independent. I'm more like, yeah, I'm more of a right leaning independent. So for me, it's like, a lot of times I'm voting in opposition of Democrats, if that makes sense. So I don't know. So it's like, I could say why I wouldn't vote for them. And he was trying to like convince me of all these things. And I just remember when he was like talking about the border and he just was like, the border isn't open. What are you talking about? And he like pulled this graph up during the debate and it showed the crossings and how it was like, whoosh, it was like straight line up under Biden. And it's like, you can't argue with people who just completely deny reality. It's like, I don't know what to say. But for people who are on the left that live in reality, like, I can have a conversation with them and we're fine, and it's like, I've heard many criticisms of Trump and I've heard many issues, like, and I'm open to criticism of Trump that is actually real. Like, a lot of times people will make stuff up about him, but I appreciate when people actually say things that he actually did, or he did wrong or whatever. Like, I'm not one of those either where I'm like, you can't question him. Like, I don't feel that way at all, you know? So for me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, look at pedestrian altar. Doesn't live in reality. Doesn't live in reality. We need a president that mostly focuses on fixing the economy. Everything is so expensive. I totally get that, and I totally resonate. Um, I totally resonate with that. Honestly, I do, and I can understand the fears. Oh yeah, that was so funny, Caleb. You loved that. Well, it's because that was the other thing too, Caleb, is like, I was so like, Hunter Avalon is so like, if you say anything, he'll just throw you off the stream or he'll throw you off. Like, he'll just cut you off immediately and then like get you out of there and then just talk shit about you after. So it's like, what am I going to do but say okay, you know? Because I wanted him to keep hanging himself with his own rope, basically, because that's what I did, and I did a great job because he really did. It was a mess. So yeah, but I don't do that anymore. Like I said, I'm done with politics and I just, ugh. But I do feel like I had to talk about it, especially because like of the freaking debate. Obviously, it makes you think about it. So I have been, but I haven't been as focused on the news. Like I said, I was looking at the English election. Yeah, of course, Caleb. Well, because he's just angry. He's just a grievance person, which I've been very angry politically before. Like, I understand it, but it's not persuasive. It's not. But like I said, I don't really try to persuade on this channel. Like, this channel is just, I'm just expressing how I feel about things. Like, I don't care if people disagree because I don't agree completely with everybody. Like I said, I would consider myself more so a right-wing independent or a right-leaning independent because I will vote Republican, but only if I want to. It's like I'm not a guaranteed vote. They have to earn it. But Democrats, like I said, the bridge is burned. Because even if they were to say, oh, I'm a centrist, I wouldn't trust them because of Joe Biden. Because he said he was and he's not. I don't know what the hell he is. Like, I understand a lot of progressives don't like him either. I don't know what he is, but he's just horrible. I don't really know. So it's like Democrats found somebody that can make everybody pissed off, basically. And so it's like, I don't really know. But for me, it's just not it. Like, no. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. But it's horrible. And it's been horrible for our country. So, yep. Pretty much. But yeah, I would say, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. As always, if you're American, vote how for what you want. Try to vote in primaries. I think that that's really important because you have to try to like work within the system, if that makes sense. Like I made sure I voted in primaries. Because like I said, there's plenty of conservatives I would not vote for and that I have regretted voting for. Like Cornyn, fucking hate him. He's a dumbass. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do and try to just, all we can really do is try to voice our opinion and try to voice what we want. And that's through voting, and that's through voting in primaries. I mean, you can campaign and all that stuff too. I'm personally not going to campaign. I don't know if it does, Caleb, but maybe I could change it. I guess I should. You're probably right. I hate you, Caleb. I'm going to change it. I hate that you challenged me. Damn it. Why must you challenge me? I feel like every single time I do this, I should just name it like after at this point. It's ridiculous. But I already had a stream title in mind. And it's funny because I always end up doing what I was thinking anyways. I just need to verify the lyrics. Hold up. Yep, that's right. Okay. Got it. 1 second. I love how I always do this. It's so gay. Gay. Ooh, and then my internet is always so horrifically slow. Every time I try to do this, like my internet cannot handle it. Because I don't know why I can't change it on my phone. I wish I could. But they don't let me. They're mean. They're mean and evil. Gosh. I hate that Caleb is right and I need to change it. I hate you, Caleb. I hate you so much. And I hate that I already have a lyric. Ugh. I hate that I have to use this lyric. That's horrifying. Ugh, freaking gay ass Taylor having lyrics like this. Hater. Hate everybody. That's my stance. It's just hate everyone. That'll get you there. That'll get you to like success. You know, that'll get you political success. Is just hate as much as you can and just be as divisive and fear mongering as possible. And that will get you the election. That's my advice. Just run on grievance, envy, hatred, alienation, in-group, out-group thinking, and spite. I know it's a lovely title, Caleb. I didn't want to talk politics, but you made me, so I guess I kind of did deep down, but it's important too. But anyways, you guys, I think I'm gonna go. I gotta try to get to work. I still don't have my rent, which is horrifying and disgusting. So I think I will have it today, but I gotta get going. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.